All right, so every now and then, I don't like to just go over like what the uh, topic of the day is. Sometimes, a lot of times, in the old days, rather, I would do theme-based shows. I would start, I'd talk about like a couple news things, and I would do a theme-based show, right? And in recent years, I've turned more into like, let's talk about what's going on. But I was thinking, because I had to fill up a week of programming, um, what would be a great topic to kind of piss people off? So here's the topic I got. So I was thinking, and I was watching highlights, and I might have been talking to DJ Chase, but um, the NBA has had some incredible, incredible duos, incredible combinations. Batman and Robin, if you will. Some cases, Superman and Batman. I don't know any other duos. I don't know. But in the case of the NBA, there is some duos that stand out to us. Now, I didn't go back to the 60s. I didn't go back to the 50s because I could have went with Jerry West and Chamberlain, or Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. I could have went with Frazier and Monroe. I could have went with Frazier and Reid. I thought about Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars. I thought about I eliminated the Celtics because they had more of a team. I eliminated I eliminated Shaq and Penny Hardaway because of Shaq is in this conversation. So here's the kicker, kids. In the history of the NBA, if you look at Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, LeBron James, and D Wade, and LeBron's had some, he's had D Wade, he had Kyrie, he had Anthony Davis. He also had Lorenzo Ball, LeVar Ball. We're not going to go there. He had D Wade, Kareem and Magic, and Mike and Scotty. Gary Payton and for sake of argument, I'll put Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. I'll put Stockton and Malone in there. There's only one duo head and shoulders better than all of them. That's Shaq and Kobe. And you're like, what? What? Let me tell you something. Shaq and Kobe averaged basically 30 points on Shaq's side, 28 points on Kobe's side in their time together. Michael and Scotty, Michael averaged 30, Scotty averaged 19. Magic and Kareem, Magic averaged 19, Kareem averaged 23. LeBron and Wade, LeBron averaged 25, Wade averaged 20. I couldn't get the exact, so which tells me that tells me Steph carried the butter load of it, but Steph averaged 52 points. Steph and Klay averaged 52 combined. You won't find another duo like Shaq and Kobe ever again. First of all, and if you carve out Shaq from 98 to about 2004, there will never be a player that comes close to what he did on the basketball court. This freakishly large man. There was a lot of big guys. Don't forget, what was his name? Mike Wakandi, something like that. He was a big guy. There are a lot of big guys in basketball. But the fact that you look at somebody like Shaq and what he was able to do, and people go, oh, Shaq was just fat. No. Shaq could face you, did hit you with a spin around. You look at Shaq, and you look at the centers today. Shaq would have debodied and destroyed the league today. And you take someone like Kobe, right? And I know, Kobe just stole Jordan's thing. Fair. But I'm here to tell you right now, Kobe Bryant was not going to be denied. If you face Shaq and Kobe, you got to put your emphasis on Shaq, which allows Kobe Bryant to do whatever he wants. You want him to hit a three, he'll hit a three. You want him to get to the basket, he hit a basket. Here's the thing, Klay and Steph, there is no mid-range game. Their game is outside the three-point line. And if you miss, Shaq, Kobe get rebounds, it's a ball game. And I know like, well, bro, you comparing their team? No, what I'm saying is if you take Shaq and Kobe, just them two. You take Mike and Scott, just those two. Magic and Kareem, just those two. LeBron and Wade, just those two. Clay and Steph, just those two. Put them with any combination of team, Shaq and Kobe still come out on top. Period. Point blank. If you find a way to keep Shaq from getting his numbers, right? Now you got to stop Kobe from getting his. Kobe and Shaq can guard. Here's the thing, and I know you're like, well, Shaq can guard God, he really don't got to. Just come to the basket and see. Shaq played against those guys. They weren't giving him the business. And in fact, Shaq beat Scottie Pippen in the playoffs. The young Shaquille O'Neal, and then later again when he got to the Trailblazers. This argument doesn't have to have a ton of logic. All right, we don't need to do matchups. We're just talking pure skill, pure aura, pure dominance. And those two dominated. They didn't dominate more because they had their own squabbles. But imagine the Shaq and Kobe, where they don't have to love each other, but they have the same camaraderie as Pippen and Jordan, Magic and Kareem, right? They don't stop winning, in my opinion. Spurs got over on them in 2003. You know, I think Lakers were just tired at that point. But in my opinion, if Shaq and Kobe were able to they didn't have all that animosity with each other, they walk away with 5 or 6, maybe 7 championships. I feel like that. I feel like they had it. They could have won in 99. They could have won in 2000, 2001, 2002. They could have won in 2003. Think about how great they were. When they put the Nets with the back-to-back finals. Same team. When they played the Lakers, they got swept. When they played the Spurs, they took them to 5. They took them to 6 or 7. 6. Something like that. Lakers swept them. Lakers swept the Pacers. Lakers really swept the 76ers because they beat the 76ers won game 1. Lakers won the next 4. So, just in case to make my argument even clearer, swept the Pacers. Did they sweep the Pacers? Or the Pacers took them to 5? It's a great question. I think they swept. No, they didn't. It was 6 games. My bad. For the sake of argument, though, they swept the 76ers and they swept the Nets. Bulls never swept anybody in the finals. The Heat didn't sweep anybody in the finals. Golden State, I don't think swept anybody in the finals. And I don't even think Magic and Kareem swept anybody in the finals. I don't. I have to say, like, you got to be crazy if you think Shaq and Kobe are not the greatest dynamic duo of all time. Next is Scottie and Mike. After that, I got to give it to Kareem and Magic, and then Curry and Thompson and Wade and Bron James. That's probably the most disappointing duo because they walked away with 2 championships. Like, those guys were supposed to have one more, and they loved each other. So it just goes to show you, lovey-dovey don't always win a championship. All right, it was a good argument. I liked it. I wasn't as passionate about it. Something about doing 3 shows, and it may have something to do with that, or it's better when you can argue against someone. That's not an invitation for people to come join the show. I've tried that. Only one person that can do my show with me on a consistent basis, and that's the original host of the show, or the original co-host of the show, John Connie. That's it. He's the only person that I will have that talk with. Everybody else, I don't want to hear it.